Hi, I'm Stacey Shubitz, and I am one of the co-authors at Two Writing Teachers, and I would like to introduce one of my colleagues, Melanie Meehan.
That's me. I'm one of the other co-authors at Two Writing Teachers. So we are so happy that you are watching this video, because what it means is that you have either signed up for or you are considering signing up for taking our month-long Slice of Life Story Challenge, which means 31 days of writing every day and commenting on other people's writing. So that being the case, we would 100% welcome you. We're excited to have new people. And we have some tips on how to be part of the community if you do join.
Yep. Do you want to take the first one? We're going to just give 5 today. We have more to come, but do you want to start off with the first one, Melanie?
Sure. So the first one is really about ways to come up with ideas. And I think, that's one of the hardest things to do as writers, is coming up with ideas. I just spent the day with teachers talking to them about how they can nudge kids to think about ideas. But basically what you'll find is that the more you do it, the more you'll spend your day paying attention to the little things that happen that can end up being a slice of life story. Stacey tends to come up with stories about her kids that she just finds throughout the day. I tend to come up with stories about interactions with people and who I'm working with throughout the day. But you can come up with ideas by, I don't know, pouring your breakfast cereal in the morning. You just start mining your life.
And I think having a lens is really helpful. I've purposely taken on the lens of my children so as to make sure that my slice of life stories act as an archive of their lives. But I think having any type of lens is perfectly fine, or just winging it works too. And also we have those Be Inspired pieces every single day inside of the daily calls for slice of life stories. So I think those are also really helpful too. Should we move on to the next one?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Okay. You take it, Stace.
Okay, so challenge yourself to get to know lots of people. So if you're new, it's always hard to get started, but I want to be really clear about something. This is a community. It's not a group. Okay, this is a community of people who genuinely care about each other as people and as educators. So know that you're in a welcoming space and just sample lots of different people's writing. You never know who you're going to connect with. Read the teasers that people leave with their links, and just, try and connect with as many folks as possible. And you never know how that will not only build your audience as a writer, but will lead to some genuine professional friendships along the way.
I'm just going to echo that, because I think that when I first started this challenge years ago, I think this might be my 10th year, Stace. I had no idea at the depth of the relationships that I would develop and form as a result of this. And I think that is an unintended or unexpected reward of doing the challenge. So not to sales pitch it, but you really will not believe the relationships and the friendships that you develop, which leads me to number 3, which is really about participating fully in order to get the most out of this challenge. And I think there's a certain amount of pressure that you feel initially about commenting and writing exactly the right comment or saying the right thing for a piece. And you kind of have to talk yourself over that and be like, I'm going to leave a comment, and it might not be the perfect comment. You can't let perfect get in the way of good enough, and just leave something that lets people know that you were there and you read that piece and you appreciated something in that piece. And here's what it was. You had a reaction to that piece. So I just say, get over the lurking factor and jump in and participate and leave those sorts of comments.
Absolutely. And be inspired by the people. This is the next one. Be inspired by people who are slicing alongside you during the month. And if you read a piece that inspires your own writing, link back to it. That's a great way to let someone else know that their writing moved you in some way and inspired you to do something more and bigger with it, or copy it. It's always nice to give attribution to people. I think it makes people feel really good, and sometimes there's a domino effect that happens with that one person is inspired by another, who's inspired by another, who's inspired by another. And again, that's what being part of this community is about.
Yeah. If you're counting, we've given 4, which takes me to number 5, and we promised 5 tips. And that is the one about not taking it personally if someone doesn't comment back on your blog after you commented on theirs a few times. And that will probably happen at some point. It kind of happens to all of us. And it's almost never about your writing. It's almost always because there's something else in that person's world that is just going on that is preventing them from going back and checking out who's commented and reaching back out to those people who did. So you have to kind of say, okay, I know I'm going to develop relationships. They're going to be authentic, and I'm not going to take it personally if after I leave a few comments, somebody doesn't head back to mine. They might be developing their own community. They might not read it. There just could be all kinds of reasons. And I would just say, don't take it personally.
Which is hard. It's hard, but you know what? That's our tip. And that's our 5th and final tip for today. We will have tips for the first 2 weeks approximately of the challenge, a new tip a day. You will see these 5 again, but there will be some new ones available. So make sure every day when you are leaving the link to your slice of life story that you check out the tip, check out the Be Inspired section, check out the quote, and we look forward to seeing you in March. Have a good one.